Welcome to this month's Confident English Conversation. This month, I'm chatting with Anna in Poland, and we talk about several things, including getting into the details of my favorite topic, confidence, particularly confidence in speaking. We talk a lot about the myths versus the reality of speaking with confidence in another language. And we also really get into the details of how our personalities influence the way we speak. Anna and I are both very strong introverts, so we talk a little bit about that as well. And then we also spend some time talking about a book that Anna introduced to me. It's a book I now recommend to everyone, anyone who is looking for more happiness, more control, more contentment in their life. And it's also a book that helped me make a really big decision recently. So I hope that you enjoy as you listen. If there is something that makes you laugh or something that you think, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I think or how I feel, or maybe there's a new word that you hear, I would love to hear about it. Share your thoughts, your comments, and your questions down below. And I hope that you enjoy this. You brought this book into my life, but also into the Confident Women community. We have our book club, and you recommended this book to the book club. I know a little bit of the story, but I want to ask how you found out about this book, because again, that recommendation and getting to read it in the community was just so powerful. So can you talk a little bit how you found it?
Yes, of course. So first of all, thank you for having me here. So speaking about this book, it was after pandemic, and we all felt awkward. I think I
Mhm.
didn't know why, and I tried to find the reason why I am feeling just like that, and I was trying to find some some specific patterns to change something and to feel happy.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of reasons to be happy. I have a great family, good job, fantastic friends. So I felt I should be happy, but I
Mm.
didn't feel like that. And
Yeah.
then probably I've watched an interview in Polish television
Okay.
with the author of this book, and I thought, okay, I have to read it. It started with that, and when I started to read this book, it was a game changer for me
Hmm.
because I think that since that time, I feel that I am more conscious and more aware of my life, and
Yeah.
I try to follow the guidelines that we have in this book.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the things I know you've said this as well, and I've heard this time and time and time again from women in the community who read this book. It's just so practical. And I think what you said about there are all these reasons in life that I should be happy. There are everything there's so
Yeah,
I have so much in my life, but
yeah,
I don't always feel that way. And so it kind of lets you take control of
yeah,
that. And
yeah,
I think one of the things for me that was so powerful actually comes really at the beginning. It's the identity menu where you go through and you identify
yeah.
your values. Like, what is most important to you? What do you want in life? And so I started the process of this more than a year ago, I think. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's been more than a year. Um, and it's taken time to implement some of the different things, but I
Yeah.
have to tell you, one of the things that I really value is time. And that's one of the things he lists is time with
Hmm.
friends, time with
Yeah,
family.
absolutely.
And that is important to me, having time to spend doing fun things with my friends and my family. But the more I was thinking about time, I also wanted time with my students. I wanted time to help solve problems for my students. I wanted time in my life that didn't feel rushed. And that was one of the things I noticed is I felt I was always rushing to do the next thing, trying to get the next thing done.
Yeah,
And I hate being rushed. I
yeah,
want time to think and explore and be creative and to just be with people. And so one of the things I spent a lot of time trying to figure out why I always felt rushed, and I started looking at where my time was. And so one of the big changes I made, honestly, I don't know, it was maybe 30 days ago, 45 days ago. I left Instagram and Facebook. I left social media.
Oh, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm jealous.
Um, yeah, and I was really scared because I mean, I was there for, I spent time there on my in my personal life, but also for work.
Hmm.
And if you go, for example, to the Speak Confident English Instagram account, I haven't posted.
Okay,
I can't
I didn't
remember.
notice.
Yeah,
But
well,
I set some limits on the
yeah,
Instagram and Facebook.
yeah,
Yeah, because it's wasting your time. It's
yeah,
under your
and
control. When you start to scrolling, you don't know how
time's
much
gone.
time.
Yeah, and what I
That's
didn't
true.
know, and so for me, I started it as a 30-day experiment. And I
Hmm.
said, "I'm just gonna do this for 30 days and see." I honestly cannot tell you how long it's been now because I haven't gone back to check. I've just
Hmm.
been just stopped. But what I can say is that I have more time. I don't feel rushed. I've been more creative.
And you feel
I've
calmer.
yeah, I mean, it's just like I've been able to do things that I was really missing in my life.
Hmm.
And I didn't even know I was missing him. I'm reading more books. There's just so many things that I'm doing now. And so again, another reason that I'm so grateful is that this book came into my life because of your recommendation, and it's allowing me to make these little changes that are making my life definitely better, and I'm excited to
Yeah,
see how that
it's a
happens for other people as well.
it's a sea change when you
Yeah.
try to follow
Yeah.
his tips. Yeah, and I also love the concept of core happiness, which
Mhm.
is consistent of contentment, control, and the third one, alignment, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm.
it's very
Yeah.
important. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's
I try to
incredible.
follow it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask my favorite question so far when I've chatted with others like Seema and Shishian is looking at all of the different topics that we explore in the CWs in the Confident Women community. And every single month we call it inside the community, we call it our roadmap, but it's like a study guide that's the foundation of the vocabulary we're learning, the topics that we're discussing. And I'm curious if there's one that has been a favorite. Maybe you've enjoyed it the most or it was the most interesting to you, but do you have a favorite that stands out?
Yeah, you called them real life topics, and I think that it's true. They are real life topics. But now my mind is racing, and I try to choose that one which capture my attention. So first of all, I could divide them into two types.
Mhm.
So the first one, psychological, existential, and the second one, maybe
Mm.
mundane or something like that.
Ooh. Yeah.
And I'm probably more into psychological
Mhm.
topics because they are so important in our life. And it's a paradox because we are struggling with psychological issues, but we don't have enough time to talk about them, to disarm them. So,
Mm.
however, I appreciate both types. Yeah, so they are very helpful and useful. But if I had to choose one, it would be that one about toxic positivity.
Ooh,
So
that was a while ago, toxic
yeah, it
positivity,
was
and I
toxic
remember when we
positivity.
talked about that,
Yeah,
everyone was like, "Wait, what? Positivity is great.
yeah,
How is it
it
toxic?"
is.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's close to very close to. Uh, oh my God, I forgot the word. My favorite word in English. Yeah,
it'll come to
that
you. It'll
that
come to you.
yeah, definitely. So it's very close to optimism, of course, and to hope. There was also a topic about
Mhm.
hope and that word resilience. I think that resilience, hope, and positivity or optimism, they are a triad. That it's very important in our life, but toxic positivity is that one which really captured my attention because of the because it's very powerful oxymoron, in my
Okay.
opinion. So the combination of two opposite words, that what you mentioned, so how something what is positive could be toxic at the same moment. Yeah, that's why that's
Yeah.
my choice.
Yeah. How would you I think for a lot of people, though, as you said, those words are it's an oxymoron. So these two opposite words that kind of fit together and create their own kind of their own meaning. If you had to describe what toxic positivity is to someone that hadn't heard that before, how would you
Mhm.
describe that? Because it is an unusual combination of words.
So I think that it could be defined as a mm, approach or belief that no matter what difficult is happened or how difficult the situation is, people should maintain a positive mindset.
Mhm.
And on the one hand, it's okay, but the problem is that people respond with, or people not respond, but concentrate too much on it, and they in the same way they dismiss the negative emotions that they
Mhm.
have, and they accumulate the negative emotions inside. And I think that it isn't a good solution, because people respond with false reassurance and rather than empathy. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. What a great way to explain that. And I'm I can only speak for my culture. I can't even speak for all American culture, but just my life growing up and the culture of my life, I think there is definitely the trap of positivity that we always have to, even the worst things in life, the things that are horrible in life, we have to find the good in them. We have to find the positive thing. And I think that's a real trap of some of the culture that I grew up with. And so learning how to maintain balance of like, okay,
Yeah,
yes, maybe there is something better that can come from this, but that doesn't mean I can't be really sad or angry I mean, I have
yeah,
to accept that those
yeah.
emotions are
We need
also
to
real.
validate and acknowledge the bad emotions because they are the part of our
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
important part of our life. So
Yeah.
we experiencing a range of emotions, good and bad, positive and negative, and it's totally natural that we experiencing them. And yeah, I think that when we dismiss or deny existing negative emotion, it doesn't mean that we erase them. They are still there. And yeah, it might me think about the metaphor or iceberg,
Mhm.
that what is positive and we express positive, toxic positivity. It's something that we can see on the surface. But the clue is beneath the surface, and it
Mhm.
could be connected with the negative emotions that we have, that we processing or we not processing, which is worse.
It's such an interesting I feel like I could talk about it all day. And this is what I love. I love every time I'm in the community just getting to have, as you said, like we get to have these really deep, fascinating conversations about psychological and emotionally intelligent issues, all of that. But then also we have those everyday topics like, I don't know, what's your favorite thing to
Stuff.
eat for dinner? Yeah, stuff like, but those are real conversations
I
too. And
remember it. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember it. It was
yeah,
very funny roadmap. Yeah,
I love it. I love
yeah,
just the whole it's just real. It's real life.
yeah,
And so I think about all of that and the conversations we have, they're all in English and the goal is to develop confidence in doing that. So I'm really curious when you think about English confidence, what does that look like or sound like to you? What is your idea or definition of that?
of confidence, of English. Hmm. So for me, it's a kind of personal belief in my ability to communicate effectively. in
Mhm.
English, and it includes comfortable feeling, especially speaking, writing, listening, and reading without the excessive fear of making mistakes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Of course, it's challenging, and it uh, pushes to step out our comfort zone.
Yeah.
But if we want to be confident, we have to do this.
Yeah. So I'm curious what has helped you start to move forward in that direction?
Yeah. So first of all, I have to mention that in my case, confidence isn't a stable status or stable state.
That is my myth. That's what I wanna talk about. It's
Yeah.
not permanent.
It isn't something I gained once and kept for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
It is very changeable and I would say moody.
Oh,
and
what a
it's
great word. Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
influenced by many factors,
Yeah.
internal and external. Of course, my mood, my knowledge of something, the people I am speaking with, workload, physical condition, and sometimes even of the weather. So
Yeah.
it's really very, very changeable. And mm, coming back to the question, what helped me to be confident? So, or what helped me to be more confident? I think that finding the real reason to speak, the genuine motivation. For
Mhm.
me, it was an authentic curiosity about other people,
Mhm.
particularly about women in
Mhm.
CWC. So I've met there individuals who share the same doubts, the same obstacles. And you've known me for a while, and I always say that I am better listener than speaker. But it doesn't help to speak in foreign language, and I know it. However, I love being with people, and the curiosity about others, in my case, was a trigger.
Mhm.
So when I meet or when we meet interesting people, there is always a temptation to know more. And yeah, maybe that was my motivation and something that helped me
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
step out my comfort zone.
I I agree, and I love what you just said because I think that's so often the myth about confidence is that it's once we have it, it's always there. And one of the things I think I've learned over the last few years is that confidence is really a choice that we make in a moment, but it's not always an easy choice to make. And I love that word that you use, that it's moody, it changes, and so many things influence it in the moment. For me, when I think about confidence being a choice, for me, it's trusting the experience that I've had in the past, trusting the skills that I've worked to build, trusting that the knowledge I have will be there when I need it,
Mm,
and making the decision to do what I need to do. So it might be a hard conversation, it might be doing some public speaking, it might be, as you said, expanding our comfort zones, but it's making the decision to do it and trusting that I'll be okay. I have the skills, I have the experience, I have the words, I can
yeah,
do this. It
yeah,
doesn't mean it will be
absolutely.
perfect. It won't be
Yeah,
perfect, but I'll
that's
be
true.
okay.
But for me, being confident, especially in English, isn't only a matter of language. It's also a matter of personality.
Yeah,
Once I realized I'd gone down the same path in my native language, I become more tolerant of myself.
yeah,
It's a part of my introvert nature. And it helps me a lot to find the link between my personality and how I express myself in similar situation, also in English. It
yeah.
took me a while to feel confident in my mother tongue as well. So I'd rather stay in a backstage or in a background than shine on a stage.
Yeah.
And now I'm
Yeah.
processing the same in English. So it's a natural process connecting with my personality.
I agree. I think discovering maybe being at peace with who we are,
Yeah,
and
maybe
I don't
the
know.
alignment. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know, and
absolutely. Absolutely. Coming back
yeah, that's
coming
it.
back
Yeah.
to
And
alignment, contentment, and happiness.
there is something else. Yeah, you've just reminded me about one situation during the fluency school. You asked us, treat me as if I were five, and
Mhm.
tell me something. And I'd like to modify it a little bit. So when you start speaking in foreign language, especially at the beginning, treat yourself like a 2 or 3 year old child who has the right to make some mistakes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is funny, sometimes it's awkward, but it's a journey that everyone has to go through.
Yeah. Yeah. I really love that. And I'm curious, while you were saying that, I was thinking one thing I strongly believe, and maybe it's just for me and my personality, but for me to allow that, for me to treat myself like a 2 or 3 year old and give myself the permission to make silly mistakes and not be so nervous about, for me, I really needed safety or a
Absolutely.
comfortable place to do that. I couldn't do that with just somebody at a public restaurant that I didn't know, at least not at the beginning. Now I can, now I don't care. But at the beginning, I could only do that with people who I felt really comfortable with. I don't know if you
Absolutely.
felt the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why, yeah, I appreciate so much CWC because
Mm,
it's a safe space
yeah,
for all of us. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, Anna, I thank you for doing this with me today. I know your life has been super busy. I know May and June were incredibly busy for you, so I really
Now will be
appreciate.
better. So it's okay now.
Well, I'm so glad. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this and for
Thank you once again for having me
sharing
here.
your life. Thank you for being in my life. I'm really grateful, but just thank you for
Me
sharing your
too.
thoughts on happy minds, happy lives, what it means to be confident, positive, toxic positivity, all the things. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I don't think I can identify or name just one part of that conversation that I enjoyed the most. I enjoyed every single moment of it, but I do know I love talking about confidence. This is something I could talk about all day. I'm always curious what other people think about confidence, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like, especially when we're talking about speaking confidence. I love what Anna said, that confidence is moody. It is moody. It is influenced by so many things, both internally and externally, the things that we can control and the things that we can't control. And so I loved getting to have that conversation about the myths of confidence. It's not something that's permanent. It's not something that once we get it, we always have it. I really do believe that it is something that we can choose to have, but it comes from experience and time and opportunities to practice or prepare so that we know that we have the right skills or the right words or the ability that we need in the moment. So I'm really curious for you to finish this up today. I want to ask you what confidence in English means to you. I would love to hear your ideas of what it looks like or sounds like or feels like. So, as always, please take a moment to share your thoughts, your ideas down below. I do love reading the comments. I read all of them and reply to as many as I can. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for listening to this conversation with Anna today. And I look forward to the next one.